Happened in the 90's.
There's something about it. It's great.
It's just different.
Giant Dr. Pepper is
Like nothing else.
So, dude, I'm in some of these groups, these fan groups on Facebook, man, like SNL and Family Matters and shit. And sometimes, man, I kind of want to troll. Sometimes it's fun to troll. Just for the shits and giggles, man. Because I'm a shit stirrer, shit talker, uh, all of that, man.
We both are, Steve. We were in. It's like when you're in school. Sometimes you got to make a snide comment just to, relieve some stress, and that's what I mean. I get it. Is internet trolling the best thing? No, but is it fun? Yes.
Fuck yeah, it is, man. Like, what are your favorite episodes starring Steve Urkel? Bitch, all of them starred Steve Urkel. I be wanting to say that type of shit. That, just to be petty, just be disrespectful, just because I can. It's like, and the person might be nice. Who is your favorite host on SNL? Your mama, bitch. I be wanting to say it, but I don't, because I don't want to get kicked out of these groups.
That's the thing, Steve. That's what I don't like. I don't like that I can be kicked out. And here's what I don't like. What you're saying, but you're in a group. You're all love whatever it is, Ninja Turtles, Frasier, whatever it is, and then somebody will come in and be like, just say the most basic day one fan thing. It's like, bitch, what the fuck was that? This is the fan shit. This is the fucking Thunderdome of this show. Do not come in here going like, what's your favorite Frasier line, guys? What the fuck salads and scrambled eggs mean, you guys? It's crazy. I don't know.
We asked that question 11 days ago, bitch. Where the fuck you been? You ain't no real fan. You should have been here. I was here. You wasn't there.
Come out, bitch. See, maybe if we could run our own fan page and just be brutally litigious about kicking out people like that. So it's only hardcore fans.
Yeah, dude.
I like that, Steve.
Because it's fun to be petty and troll sometimes, man. And the people, like I said, they might be nice people. You don't mean no harm. You just be bored and be like, you know what? Fuck this person. Just I'm a peaceful person, Matt. But some days I wake up and I choose violence.
Well, I mean, sometimes you gotta release some stress, Steve. I mean, hit a heavy bag, or in this case, shit on somebody who has a stupid opinion about SNL or whatever what have you. That's like, I like Hacksaw Jim Duggan. It's like, get the fuck out of here. Shut the fuck up.
I like your titties, ho. Just cause it's America, and you can say shit.
That's the greatest. That would be the best comeback to somebody, as it is like, you stupid, and just go back. I like them titties, ho. They don't know what to say.
Fuck it, because you can. Just because you can.
I'd be like,
shit.
Okay, thank you.
I wasn't expecting that, but
That's hilarious.
So what's up, boys and girls? This is Steve G, Matt G, show called Happened in the 90's, where we talk about things that happened in the 90's. So get out your talk boys and your LA gears, because Wu-Tang is here forever, motherfuckers.
Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing.
Shit got aggressive, Steve.
Yeah, man.
Diversify your bonds, motherfucker.
Yeah, dude, we talking about the greatest hip hop album of all time. In my opinion, it's a double album. This is our second time talking about a double album. We talked about Biggie Smalls' Life After Death. And today we talking about Wu-Tang, 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 Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang. Steve, who's your favorite? I mean, I think you've gone on record as saying Ghostface, correct?
Yeah, he's my favorite. For years it was Method Man because he's the face of the group. He was the breakout star initially. They had a song named after him in the first album, but like, and he was in the movies. He was on Martin. He was
The Wire.
The Wire. You know, he was the breakout star. But over time, I look at the body of work and the solo albums, man, and Ghostface, the Iron Man, Supreme Clientele, Fish Scales, More Fish, Pretty Tony, Bulletproof Wallace, and then his features. And man, him and Raekwon are the best duo, my favorite duo. I know I love Snoop and Dre, I love UGK, I love Outkast, Big Boy and Andre. But man, to me, the best Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan combo, 1-2 punch, Ray and Ghost, man. But dude, Wu-Tang Forever to me, this came out the end of our 8th grade year, going into our freshman year of high school, and man, I was just in awe. I remember picking this CD up, this double CD up at Best Buy on Airport or Reynolds back in '97 when it came out, man, and I was just fucking in awe since day one. And it's the best because like there's 9 of these guys, 10 if you include Capadonna, and some of the best bars that they've had in their career, man. The 9 dope MC, well 10 dope MCs, man, and they're all fucking just killer MCs, man, and they all had different styles. Like, how can you lose, man? You just got so much to pick from, and I feel like RZA is the Professor X of hip hop.
Yeah,
he just like.
That's what I was going to say. To have like they had so many. I mean, they had so many guys in the group anyway, which is crazy that they could maintain that. I know some people came in and out and whatnot, but that was crazy. But then when you look at it from like our perspective now, just kind of looking back on everything, the talent that they had within that group of, you know, MCs, and then you have RZA, who is some kind of like weird savant about music, composing, you know, I mean, the fucking guy's a director of movies now and shit. So
philosophy.
Yeah, I mean, it's very bizarre, especially when I remember, I mean, I got into them late. I bought this CD, but they were not by any means my favorite group. I mean, I love
Who's
them,
your favorite group?
You know, dude, I just like West. I don't really have a favorite group. But if you wanted me to pick like a distinct duo that I just remember listening to and ass load, it's later on. But to me, I just like the Clips a lot. Like if I had to go back, it would be like 213, but that's 3 people. So I guess Warren G and Nate Dogg, if you put them in a duo, I don't really necessarily think they were always a duo, but at their best, they had a lot of songs together that were fucking bangers. But
well, not duos, but just like favorite group is.
Groups,
I mean, it could be.
Yeah. I mean I just don't. I suck at. I don't have a good memory, Steve. Like now, my memory has literally been wiped from my head with chemicals and shit. So, but I came into this group late. I bought this album, and I think because there was so much good. I mean, we went through a list of what came out around the same time as this, and it's just like greatest hits of all time, greatest albums of all time in a list. So I think this for me kind of fell through the wayside. When I look at the list, I was listening to Bad Boy a lot. Everything.
A lot of people
coming out with that. So, you know, I was a little white boy from the suburbs, Steve. I was trying to get into it, you know, so I was listening to a lot of Mace, a lot of whatever that Puff Daddy album that came out, but this one is fucking dope. My favorite guy in Wu-Tang also is Ghostface because of his persona. It's not necessarily because of his rapping. My favorite rapper is probably RZA. Or not, I'm sorry, Jizza. And RZA's my favorite guy out of Wu-Tang just because I want to be as good of an artist as that dude.
Oh, he's dope. He's a savant, like you said, man. And Jizza is a genius. I mean, well, that's his name.
Yeah,
the genius. He's into like astrophysics and just like all these dudes are just so profound to me, man. And they're. I always tell people I was never really into comic books. I watched the Batman, Supermans, but my heroes were like rappers and wrestlers. and like,
oh, for sure. I mean, for me too. It was either that or maybe like a guy, like a movie star or something. But I can't even remember anybody like back then. Or I was like, oh my god, you know, because it was always like Harrison Ford and shit. But yeah, for sure, dude. These guys. The thing that I also remember about Wu-Tang is like, I don't know if it was their idea directly, but they were really good at putting themselves out. Like they got their brand out in whatever way possible because they were on MTV a lot. Like I remember ODB doing a lot of like kind of like funny shit that, you know, on MTV and stuff. And that's kind of how I became ingratiated to them. It wasn't really through their music. It was seeing them on MTV, which clearly it worked. It got a guy, you know, little fat old Matt Geddick in Perrysburg, Ohio, started listening to Wu-Tang. So,
dude, and that all comes back to their brand. It's like if you see a Ghostface appearance, it's Wu-Tang. If you see ODB, Method Man, it all comes back to Wu-Tang. And even when they had their solo albums, like they set the staple, they set the blueprint of how to do this shit. When they broke out and did solo albums, they would still have other Wu-Tang members featured throughout the album, man. And there would be some kind of deviation of the Wu-Tang logo. Like I remember on Method Man's Tikal album, it would be the Wu-Tang logo, but it would be kind of like cracked and like kind of broken off. And then with ODB, like it's just, they're the best, man. But we're not just talking about Wu-Tang. We're talking about June 3rd in the 90s. We're going to be talking about In Living Color again, and we're going to be talking about our guys in South Park. I love you guys. I hate you guys.
Dead fetus, no, I'll never let go.
You got the strength, you got the courage, even with a dead fetus on your head. All right, man. So on June 3rd in 1990, In Living Color, they're airing episode 8. And man, you know, I want to mention that one of my crushes that I don't think she gets enough talk is Takia Crystal Kima. I always thought she was a cutie. She had that cute factor. And, you know, there was a time when I thought she did porn, but I realized that wasn't Takia Crystal Kima. That's Jeannie Pepper. And, you know, you can Google Jeannie Pepper. I can't use any images for Jeannie Pepper, but they kind of have a resemblance. Because when I was indirectly discovering my uncle's stash, Jeannie Pepper was in one of those retro vintage videos, and I was like, oh dude, that was her. She was in that before In Living Color. And you know, with the advent of internet, I was like, oh, that wasn't Takia Crystal Kima, that's Jeannie Pepper. But I still kind of want to fuck Takia Crystal Kima.
I didn't know who Jeannie Pepper was, Steve. That's a nice find. Although I'm seeing a picture here for Bung Ho Babes, and I don't know, man. I don't know what you were doing back then. Where'd you get that? Where'd you get a hold of that?
My uncle, he had a stash, and I hate to put him out there, but I mean, hey, he was an adult. He could get those things, and that's what you did back in the 90s when you were adult. Hey, you had the privilege of going into one of those deals, and it's like, hey, man, let me get one of them skin flicks.
And also, just quick sidetrack, Sally. I love porn titles or porn magazine titles, because here's 3 that just come up when I search Jeannie Pepper. Mocha, very subtle, but there's 2 chicks with their tits out on the cover. Then we go to Hot Chocolate, even better, still subtle, and then we just go to Black Tail. And that's, you know, I mean, I'm sure there's even more, but shout out to 90s porn mag titles, because they were killing it.
Bravo.
Sidetrack Sally.
Sidetrack Sally. And, you know, we start the episode off. The Fly Girls are ever so fly. And, you know, they do their intro, and Keenan is wearing fresh out of the 80s, heading into the 90s gear. You know, hey, put all these colors on a shirt that don't go together.
And he doesn't have a mustache, and it's crazy.
It's weird.
I need a facial hair on Keenan Ivory Wayans. And also, Steve, you neglected to mention, Tommy Davison gets to play one of the Fly Girls' fathers, I believe. Because he's in the intro after they stop dancing, and then Tommy Davison busts a move in the intro, which is dope.
Oh, yeah.
But he's like one of the Fly Girl's fathers, I believe. Otis.
Who the hell are you, man? Who's asking?
Thanks for standing in for me, Daddy.
You got it, baby. Don't shake it too hard.
Maybe.
Yeah, sounds about right. That's a baby boomer name.
Yeah.
And you know, I wish one of those Fly Girls called me daddy. But the first skit is Jesse Jackson. It's Friday, December 22nd, 2000, and Jesse Jackson is impersonated by Keenan, the aforementioned Keenan Ivory Wayans, and his impression is impeccable.
My fellow Americans, brothers and sisters, welcome to the last press conference of my presidency.
I checked. I wanted to fact check Friday, December 22nd, and it actually landed on Friday. But Jesse Jackson wasn't the president. It was still Tricky or Slick Willie.
Wait, what?
And it was Bill Clinton at the time.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Got you. But this is actually set in like the year 2000, I believe, right?
Yeah, it's set in the year 2000. It's December 22nd on a Friday, 2000. And at this point, Jesse Jackson has a reputation of rhyming a lot. When he does speeches, and whenever somebody would impersonate him, they would try to be like a very reverend, but yet a MC.
Hip hop, you don't stop rocking to the bang bang boogie.
And you know he's
very
going through
Johnny
his whole deal.
Cochran-ish also.
Very exactly. Yeah. You know, just spitting bars, but in a very
if you climb to the mountaintop, you don't cop a feel of some titties. He was also a famous womanizer as well, I believe. He had a little bit of a reputation for getting some pussy.
Oh yeah, I mean he's a reverend, so he's from the outhouse to the White House, from eating cheap joints to meeting with Joint Chiefs, from licking on jalapenos to meeting with Filipinas. And he has this Jackson limitation that he's proposing, which is going to ban performances from Tito or LaToya Jackson. Like I get LaToya Jackson, she doesn't have talent, but she got titties. But Tito, come on, man, he was the bass player.
I mean, why does Tito get shit? Because that's also something that just always happens. You shit on Tito.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
What? No love for the bass player.
LaToya, maybe she's a crazy ass bitch, but Tito, I mean, that's like picking on a guy that's like just sitting down and like in the background, not involved. Where you're like, and that guy fucking is fat, and he just looks up from like a book, like, hey man,
look what the fuck.
On,
like, was it? I don't know if he was the bass player or the guitarist, but man, y'all got to show some respect for Tito, man.
I'm fucking with Tito, but also Steve. You know, aside from throwing some shade on the Jacksons, you know, President Jesse Jackson is also keeping hope alive.
Would you elaborate on that, please?
Oh, yes, I can. May I have your attention, please? As you can see, Bob Hope has been frozen solid. And our scientists believe that he can be kept alive for at least another 100 years.
Yeah, man. And Bob Hope, he has Keenan Ivory Wayans, Jesse Jackson impression to thank, because Bob Hope in real life actually surpassed December 22nd, 2000. Bob Hope made it all the way to July 27, 2003 at the ripe old age of 100. So, hey, man.
Hope. You know what that was, Steve?
The skit.
He's so, well, that. And also, he was so rich that he just ate money. And that's what you have to do to live to that age. You just eat money. You actually just eat it. That's the key. So
and whores.
We have to get rich, man. We have to get rich.
Yeah. Speaking of womanizers, now the next skit, man.
Wait, Bob Hope was a womanizer, Steve?
Whoa.
Bob Hope, seriously though, grandma's favorite guy, Bob Hope, was a womanizer. He was out there swinging golf clubs and swinging his dick around.
Yeah, dude, he was married and sharing his thing.
Damn, what if he did? You know how he used to like that was his like sign off, like swinging a golf club. What if he just did that with his dork when he was, you know, fucking? He's like, get out,
get out. And he had a Richard Nixon nose, I've always noticed, man. He probably was putting that thing up so many assholes.
Give me a hell yeah!
How do we get here, Matt?
This isn't even a sidetrack Sally, Steve.
It's not, because
just a straight pull the wheel to the right and just go into a goddamn bridge embankment. Sidetrack
Sally from a sidetrack Sally, man. I mean, but his nose looks like a dick though, so it's perfect. Like he probably put that thing in cooters and boobies.
Well, Bob, we'll unfreeze him someday and find out. That might have been what killed the motherfucker too. It's putting that big ass nose in some booty. You never know.
Man, how your nose got pat? What? God damn it, man. All right, dude. So the next skit, man, is like probably my favorite because it features the dag, man. You got to sprinkle some dag on this thing. You know, it's Cephas and Reese.
They're the king and queen of maxed out music. Cephas and Reese Mayweather.
Around and round the mulberry. She said, "Mom, baby."
They sing with more scats than Ella, more risks than Luther, more vocal gimmicks than any other singer in history. They're the king and queen of maxed out music. Cephas and Reese Mayweather, the greatest hits. And
I'm going to Weasel because the Weasel gonna pop, Steve.
They even sang for the Corn Queen of Nebraska, man. You don't get no bigger than the Corn Queen of Nebraska.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star
in the sky, baby. Ain't that a star?
That shit killed right there. That's the look up at the sky, baby. Ain't that a star, bro? Like it's the subtle shit with David Allen Greer, man. He's a fucking comedic fucking genius, bro.
You know what I always wonder about him too? If he did the look sometimes, because sometimes the looks that they gave him, dude, like, yeah, it's so crazy, and he would just go with it. But another thing with this album, Steve, that I appreciated, you pay $11.99, you get an album, and you get a gold tooth cap too on top of it.
10-karat gold.
I mean, fuck, man. That's an investment, and I appreciate
it. They had the #1 song in the tri-state area for almost a week and a half called We Tight. But yeah, man, Cephas and Reese, David Allen Greer, Kim Wayans, man, bravo. The next skit is a Johnny Carson show, but it's Jim Carrey impersonating Alan Thicke as a guest host, because at this point, a Johnny Carson impression would be too passe.
Ed won't be here tonight either. He woke up with the head of a Clydesdale in his bed. I guess when you're in between marriages, you'll bring home anything.
Great Alan Thicke. What'd you think of the Alan Thicke? I gotta say,
dude,
Steve, you close your eyes.
Dude, it's perfect, man. Not enough goes to Jim Carrey as far as his impressions, because the last time we covered In Living Color, he was doing was the dude Chuck Woolery.
Yeah,
and that was perfect. It's like, how do you do a Chuck Woolery impression? Oh, dude, that's totally Chuck Woolery. Same thing with this Alan Thicke, man. R.I.P. to Alan Thicke. And his guest is Joan Embery, who's been a very consistent guest, or was a consistent guest on Johnny Carson's show, and she's bringing out an endangered species. And out comes Kelly Caulfield with Tommy Davidson on her back. She must be really strong, because he's really small. Light. He's really small and light. And he's Calvin, a Home Boy Sapien African, or B-boy as they're known in the neighborhood.
This is one of the most wildest shit. Like, this is a 90s sketch.
It's definitely, because it's typical, like, he's a b-boy, he's doing this whole deal, he's wearing his fresh kicks, his Run DMC
I mean, he
gear.
looks like LL Cool J. I mean, he has like the hat on, he's got the whole getup on. So.
The Kangol.
Yeah.
And Alan Thicke, he's just so, like, out of touch. Like, what is a b-boy?
Is he
like,
dangerous? Is he dangerous? Yo, man, why he tripping, man? He's asking. He's asking you, why are you acting like this? So basically, the ladies in there, interpreting black origin for fucking Alan Thicke.
Well, theirs is a rapidly changing language, Alan. There's new terminology almost daily. But as of last Friday, what he said to you was, just because you're rich and he's poor doesn't give you the right to disrespect him.
Oh, boy.
And Tommy dropped some bars on the mic, and that's pretty much it for that one. The next skit is Senor Hector, proprietor of Casa de Hair. And, you know, it's a short skit. You know, he gets into it with his wife. He's running a hair salon, and Kim Wayans is there. I think, is it Takia Crystal, Kima, that she's working on?
Yeah, I think so. And Dag's just walking around. Literally, what does he say? Like, mother?
I know what happened. Let me tell you. Last night I stood over Daisy's house, and Cancho told Maritza, and Maritza told Lucy, and Lucy told Pablo, and Pablo told Pepe, and Pepe told Cuca, and Cuca told Crazy Legs, and Crazy Legs told Mad Dog, and Mad Dog told Lefty, and Lefty told Shorty, and Shorty told Pepe, and Pepe told Saul, and Saul told me, baby.
He looks like Ricky Ricardo if a blind person created. He looks insane. Another one where it just looks crazy as fuck, but he kills this.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Hector and his wife are just into some weird fucking like role playing where they almost kill each other and then they almost fuck in the salon. So it gets crazy in this one.
So they know it's real. Punch me in the face so I know it's real, girl. And then, you know, followed by a Fly Girls dance number, and they're still so fucking fly. And then the last skit, This Old Box. And it's Mr. Damon Wayans. It's Anton on the Pavement Broadcaster System. They're doing a parody of This Old House, Bob Vila. Shout out to Bob Vila, another 80s or 90s staple on the PBS back in the day. And, you know, he's showing us his house, his / bathroom / kitchen / backyard / library. And he's adding a new room, and he has a drill, and I don't know what the fuck it is. And then his hammer, which is a woman's shoe, and his measuring tape, which is some rope he uses as a makeshift belt. His pants fall down, and he says, "That's the extension cord." Hey-o. And he brings out his screwdriver, not the tool, but the cocktail.
You gotta have one, Steve. You gotta have one or two. I mean, fuck.
The first time I got drunk was off a screwdriver.
I gotta say, I didn't like them, but here's my take on a screwdriver. This is for all you youngins that are just getting into drinking. If you really want to get cracked up, take a little pineapple juice, throw a little tequila in that, and then you got yourself a south of the border screwdriver. And I mean, you're in for a good night on those, Steve. So that's my tip for me to you. Enjoy.
Look at you being fancy.
I mean, Florida, Matt, when I lived in Orlando, Florida, that was the drink of choice. And there's many a story I could tell. One night I woke up in a parking lot sleeping on a curb. And, you know, that just happens every once in a while in Orlando. So if you want to get into that kind of rowdy fun, guys, a little south of the border screwdriver, care of me and Steve. Trademark of the name, though. I'm going to need some credit.
Yeah, man. Put some respect on it. And, you know, at the end of This Old Box, he says, next week, I'll be showing you how to make a jacuzzi out of a garbage can.
This is a while. Also, this is very close to the handyman character, too. It's very similar in characters, but both favorites of mine on the show. So,
who's your favorite? Wayans.
Who's my favorite Wayans? I mean, I don't want to be cheesy, but I got to give respect to the one that started it all, Keenan Ivory, because I mean, writing, acting, produce, direct, everything he's got. Now, if you had asked me that in the 90s, it would have been Damon.
Damon is a lot of people's favorite, I feel. And Keenan Ivory Wayans, he's kind of like the RZA of comedy, because he was the guy that orchestrated all of the, like, he brought all these people together.
And he's
My favorite
like
is Marlon.
Respected voice for black. It's almost like he's one of those guys you go to get advice if you're like an up and coming. He seems like a guy who does that for a lot of people too. You hear that story, like somebody that's worked with him that came up in that time where he sort of helped elevate other acts too. Obviously, mostly his family because they're fucking gigantic and you got to. But but dude, here's a hidden gem that. You may not like it, but I like it as somebody who loves the 90s, loves Adam Sandler. Damon Wayans and Adam Sandler had a comedy called Bulletproof that's like one of those 90s buddy comedies. It's funny. Go watch it.
I still haven't seen it, but I mean, I'm a fan of Damon and Adam, man. But my favorite is Marlon. It always has been. He's the goofiest, the zaniest, and he's the most diverse, man. He can do the smoky guy in Scary Movie, but he can also be in Requiem for a Dream, and he had a serious role in Above the Rim. He's actually classically trained as an actor, man. He went to the same school as Omar Epps and Tupac. That's how him and Tupac were friends. That's how they knew each other, man.
I mean, I think he was they tried to pop him off as a dramatic, well, not like a dramatic, but a guy to be in more dramatic roles. Cause I mean, he was in Requiem for a Dream and Above the Rim, but there were other remember Dungeons and Dragons? They tried to make that a big thing and they made a movie out of it. And he was a main character in that. He's been in some stuff where they tried to get him to that next level stratosphere of acting. And I personally, he had like a sitcom or something recently called Marlon that they canceled. That shit was funny.
Yeah.
He's very,
and his wife.
Sorry, go ahead.
His wife on that show was the girl from Smart Guy. I can't call her name, but she's still fine.
Wasn't she in Scary Movie too?
I believe so, and she was in How High. She was.
That's what she was in. It was maybe not Scary Movie, but she was in How. Another reference back to Wu-Tang. How fucking sick was that movie? I mean, we watched that a lot, Steve.
I watched that with you and Jordan for the first time, and dude, when they did that whole, when they were snapping on the professor, dude, I have not laughed.
Stash wearing ass motherfucker. You know the Richard Pryor shortcut fade happening around the side, motherfucker.
That's one of the hardest times I laughed, man. Y'all had to stop the movie because it was just like, oh my god, they're just fucking killing them.
Dude, but when the nerd is searching Method Man's room and he finds the condom that's like the used condom under the bed, it's a deep cut in that movie, but that's one of the funniest moments in a movie forever, dude. I love that shit.
But at the end of this In Living Color, man, in the outro, Jim Carrey's holding his baby, and it's Jane Erin Carey, who was born September 6, 1987. Shout out Virgos. And Jane, I don't know if you knew this, but Jane was actually a 2012 contestant on American Idol. She's a singer.
No, I didn't know that. No, I did not. That's cool.
Yeah, that's his baby girl that he was holding. And
watch me trick Fred out of his Cocoa Pebbles.
What happened, Coco? What's wrong?
I can't keep fighting crime unless I get something super chocolatey.
You need my delicious Cocoa Pebbles.
Truly super chocolatey.
My pebbles.
Guess it's time to bowl.
Post Cocoa Pebble cereal, part of this nutritious breakfast.
And in 1991, the MLB draft is being held. East Carteret High School pitcher Brian Taylor is the first pick by the New York Yankees. Born in Beaufort, North Carolina, Taylor attended East Carteret High School, where his pitching ability caused him to be chosen by the Yankees with the first overall selection in the 1991 draft. And after 2 full seasons in the minor leagues, he injured his shoulder in a fight and was ineffective after returning to baseball. He retired in 2000, having never played a game above Class AA. And he is one of 3 players to be drafted first overall and never play in the major leagues.
Damn, that's wild. That's got to be wild. See, but that's also weird because you hear that a lot. Like these guys that get, I mean, sometimes there's NFL quarterbacks that'll be like first round MLB picks too. That just happens. I mean, we lived in Toledo, near Toledo, and that place had a AAA baseball team. And, you know, that's a weird life that you think about. Like you can kind of be like a semi-pro baseball player, but never, it's like you never really had the job. It's fucking weird.
But he ruined it himself. He shot himself in the foot, man, because on December 18th, 1993, Taylor was injured while defending his brother Brendan in a fist fight. The New York Times reported that Brendan confronted a man named Ron Wilson. This is the third time in a row we're talking about a Ron, and who he had fought in North Carolina. Brendan suffered head lacerations during his fight with Wilson. Once Brian discovered his brother had been hurt, he and a cousin went to Wilson's trailer home to confront him. Then Taylor got into an altercation with Jamie Morris, Wilson's friend, and Taylor fell on his shoulder. According to Wilson, Taylor attempted to throw a haymaker at Morris, but missed, which caused the injury. In the hours following the altercation, Morris told reporters the injury was just a bruise. However, when the Yankees made arrangements for Taylor to visit Dr. Frank Joby, he called the injury one of the worst he had seen. Now, after retiring from baseball, Taylor moved to Raleigh, North Carolina with his 5 daughters and worked as a UPS package handler, then worked as a beer distributor. And by 2006, he had moved back home, working as a bricklayer. So in 2012, Taylor was charged with cocaine trafficking after undercover narcotic agents purchased a large quantity of cocaine, crack cocaine, from him over a period of several months. He was federally indicted on cocaine trafficking charges in June 2012. He pleaded guilty and was sentenced 50 months in prison.
God damn. Well, there's a tale of what, I don't know what to say there. What do you like, making bad decisions and what that can lead to? Because what a fucking fall there. We've all been there. You're about to get something great and you fuck it up somehow. But I mean, god damn. This is this great Maurice Claret level shit. Remember that guy?
Oh yeah, dude. This is probably worse, man, because you fresh out of high school, who could imagine being drafted by the most storied franchise in North America, man? The Yankees have like 11 World Series championships, and they drafted you. Like, dude, I could barely boil hot dogs when I was 17 coming out of high school. And dude, this is a layup.
Yeah, you just got to stay out of trouble. But that's isn't that like what you always hear about? It's like keeping those people around, these athletes that just can't get out of whatever life they were in before they got into a league or got drafted, and that's what fucks their career up. I mean, in this case, it's like, Jesus Christ, dude, you're gonna go over to somebody's trailer and fucking beat some ass, and you're about to be in the MLB. But that was a different time. You can't do that now. It's like if you did that now, it'd be on camera while you're doing it online, people watching it, and be like, you'd be done. But I guess like back then, you kind of thought you might be able to get away with some shit, you know? Like,
from the Yanks to the tank, man. What a drastic fall, bro.
I wonder where he's at now. Because I mean, he's probably out. You know?
Oh, he's definitely out. He was released in. He was released on September 12th, 2015, after 3 years. And I'm guessing he's back in North Carolina.
I bet he's one of those motherfuckers that's just brutal to be around too. Like,
oh man,
just negative Nancy all day. But I mean, fuck, you know, he's like, what's that guy, Uncle Rico and Napoleon Dynamite? He's always like talking about that ball he threw in high school, you know?
Yeah, man, I could have been a star athlete.
Wasn't for that guy. It wasn't for that missed punch. Whoever he missed the punch on that fucked his shoulder up, how hard was he about to hit that guy? That he catastrophically injured his shoulder from a miss.
Well, the Wikipedia said a haymaker. It didn't even say a punch. Like a haymaker. I always look at a haymaker as like something that's just like a super Street Fighter turbo fucking.
Captain Falcon Super Smash Brothers punch.
Yeah, he was trying to punch a hole in that motherfucker's face. But on June 3rd, 1994, Fear of a Black Hat premieres. It's like a spoof. I don't know if it came before or after CB4, but it's another one of those gangster rap parody movies. And I didn't watch it back then, but it became somewhat of a cult classic over time. It stars Rusty Cundiff, and there's some features. Faison Love's in there. It's the guy from Revenge of the Nerds. He's one of the rapper dudes. I can't call his name. Larry B. Scott.
Dude, I've never heard of this movie at all. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was a hit at the Sundance Film Festival, but it didn't smash in the box office, man. It was it was received critically well, man, but you know, it just didn't make money. They had a budget of $999 for whatever reason, because they didn't want to have $1 million budget. So they went $1 less, and it didn't even make it barely made a quarter of that, I believe. I think they even banked like 200 and something. It might be a little bit more, but it's got its moments, man. One of the guys, he says the black man was the first sensitive man long before Alan Alda. Like little shit like that, man.
I mean, it looks, I'm looking at the pictures and shit. It looks like it's got some style and stuff, but it's wild to me. I've never heard of it at all. I've literally never heard of this movie.
They would play it on like HBO back in the day, but it would be like late night, one of those kind of movies, man. And Larry B. Scott, this is one of his many alpha male roles, because after his appearance as the effeminate homosexual in Revenge of the Nerds, he wanted to dispel any assumptions that he was gay in real life. Because like I grew up thinking that he would, because he played that role so well.
You tell me the black guy in Revenge of the Nerds was not gay?
Exactly. I watched that movie a lot thinking like, oh man, like that's really him. But he would take roles like this to try to defeat, like, dude, I'm totally not like that.
It's kind of funny when you think about it, dude. He's a successful actor. It's fine. You made millions of dollars or whatever you made off that. Maybe it wasn't billions, but then you're like, yo, man, I got to play a character just so these people don't know I'm gay, motherfucker. Basically. Give me in something. But I'm like you. I thought from Revenge of the Nerds, I'll get a picture and put it up here right now. If you look at that guy, and remembering how he acted in the movie, I would have assumed. Right.
Yeah, man.
Oh, that's credit to his acting. The motherfucker.
Exactly. Method acting right there, man. He must have followed some gay people around.
Method acting, probably.
Spent a couple weeks in San Francisco. I don't know. But they also took some jabs and parodized some celebrities like Jike Spingleton, which is a portmanteau of John Singleton and Spike Lee. And so they had a guy playing him. There's MC Slammer. And then there's a female rap group called Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme, which was a takeoff of Salt and Pepper. Because they called Salt and Pepper like some basic herbs or some shit like that. There's Vanilla Sherbet. Takeoff of Vanilla Ice. Yo Highness was a takeoff Queen Latifah. And then there's Ice Tray, Ice Box, Ice Coffee, and Iceberg. And then there was the Jam Boys, which was a play off the Fat Boys. And Faison Love was one of the Jam Boys. He was the Jam Boys were like they were rivals. They were rivals of this group.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to watch this. I'm sure it's available someplace, but just speaking as somebody who lived through the 90s and watched a lot of that type of movie anyway, this one fell through the cracks on my end. I never saw this.
And check out the soundtrack, man. They even had a soundtrack for these parodized songs that they had throughout the album, throughout the movie. Booty Juice, Come and Get the PUSSY. And the PUSSY is political unrest, stabilized society. Yeah. And then there's Fuck the Security Guards, A Gangster's Life Ain't Fun, Gorillas in the Midst, Grab Your Stuff, Granny Said Kick Your Ass, Ice Froggy Frog, I'm Just a Human, Kill Whitey, My Peanuts, Wear Your Hat, Buried and Bald, White Cops on Dope, and Santa Claus is Coming.
This shit, that's a lot. How many? They had a fucking album worth of spoof songs. You guys are like Lonely Island, before Lonely Island. This is great. Again, this is what I liked about the 90s too. They put a lot more effort into this shit. They made a spoof movie and then made a whole album of songs. They wouldn't do that now. You get a couple. No. We're about to talk about South Park, and they did the same thing. There was a lot more of that, they like that kind of comedy, which I'm gonna have to watch this. I also Fear of the Black Hat. They have one of the best movie covers I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's a guy
and
looking
that's
out behind a booty. It's fucking great.
And that's a take off of Fear of a Black Planet, which was a Public Enemy album. And the name of the group is NWH, which is obviously a take off of NWA. They're niggas with hats.
Well, one of the where's it at? This guy, it's like where's your hat at or something. It doesn't matter where you're from, it's where your hat's at or something. So there's a lot of backstory to this. The Revenge of the Nerds thing, I think, is probably my balls just got blown off because for my whole life, I thought that guy was gay. So, I mean, sorry, dude. Apparently you didn't like that. And you've had to do some alpha male roles just to prove your point. So that's cool.
Yeah. He was even on the episode of Martin where he was a robber. I think he took somebody's purse. He took Pam's purse or something like that.
But he was not gay. He did not like dudes, Steve. So watch your fucking mouth, okay?
Yeah, man.
He's an actor.
Man, hey, much props to Larry B. Scott. Now, in 1997, on June 3rd, Wu-Tang Clan released Wu-Tang Forever and the World Was Never Same Again. It's, to me, it's the Pink Floyd, The Wall of hip hop, because it's a double album and it's classic and it didn't really have too many radio releases. The only real radio release was Triumph, and Triumph has no hook. It's just bars after bar after bar after fucking bar, with all of these talented MCs, and the song is 6 minutes. So there was no way radio was going to like keep that in heavy rotation, man. But Wu-Tang didn't fucking care because it still sold. It went multi-platinum and it was nominated for Best Rap Album. And although it lost to Puff Daddy album No Way Out, and I still, that's one of those that, man, that album was good, but man, that was Wu-Tang's, man. That to me was the album of the year. It's the greatest hip hop album because it's just the best of 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 the best.
You know what I like about having good friends and like just like knowing a community is that I don't care for those award shows at all. I think giving awards for this type of stuff, I get why you do it, but it's always what you just said. The right people never win it. And I got to say, like I said, I wasn't even listening to this as much as you were back then, but even knowing that Puff Daddy won over them for that award is just stupid. I mean, also they made a double album. So if you're just going off content, they gave out way more too, on top of the fact that this album was probably better. But I want to go back to what you said about them being the Pink Floyd of rap. That's probably the best description of them I've ever heard.
I don't think they're the Pink. I think this album is like The Wall.
I think that is a good description because they are. It's like you can get that surface level of fandom of Pink Floyd. You get, like Money, those like famous songs. But then when you go in and listen to it, it's very cerebral. It's very like there's hidden shit in it. You have to listen. You actually have to sit down and listen to it. And there's a lot more to it than just those popular songs. And that's where I think, I'm not saying it's like trippy to listen to, or you should take acid and listen to Wu-Tang, but that would probably be fucking dope if you did.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting because they have some radio play ability. People know them widely because of their famous songs, but like Pink Floyd, and I have a lot of experience with that band because we used to trip so much to them. If you listen to them and you get past the popular songs, the stuff that you wouldn't normally know unless you bought the album and listened to it is the best part of it, and you're going to have stuff that you find that other people don't know. That's what I like about Wu-Tang. There's so much. I mean, this is 27, 20, it's almost 30 songs that you got in this album.
Yeah, man.
So, but that's also another thing that's weird. They didn't have, this is another reason I think I didn't know about them as much. They weren't on the radio that much.
No.
At all. At least in Toledo. So.
Well, they were on tour with Rage Against the Machine promoting this album. And that tour like changed my perspective. Yeah, that changed my perspective on music, and because that introduced me to Rage Against the Machine, and Rage Against the Machine was like my conduit to rock and roll, because they were like a buffer. Like Rage is obviously they're hip hop and rock, and like they're really great at that. And as I got deeper into it, it's like, who are these guys influenced by? Oh, Public Enemy and Black Sabbath. Oh, Black Sabbath, that's the group that Ozzy Osbourne. Let me check out Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
Oh man, Busta Rhymes used that track on one of his songs. Oh, and then it just all comes full circle, man. And I just started getting more involved into other genres, man. So this album was very influential to me in a lot of ways, man. It came out the summer of '97. We were going into our freshman year of high school. And before we were introduced to DMX, they were the antithesis to all pretty boy, Puff Daddy, jiggy shit, man. You know, they wore baggy Wu wear and, you know, Timberlands, and they, you know, it was Old Dirty Bastard and Method Man with the grimy, and, you know, we from New York, son. We don't do all that pretty boy shit, you know what I'm saying? So like, I that shit resonated with me, man. And then like, I thought it was so cool that they did that tour with Rage Against the Machine, and they didn't care for it because they looked at it as, man, we about to do some white boy shit. We don't know who these motherfuckers is. But like looking back on it, man, like that shit was monumental because it brought them to a new crowd, introduced them to people who probably didn't listen to Wu-Tang.
I mean, that had to be a part of why I started listening to him too, because it
really
was interesting about that. I didn't even really realize that. I almost thought, like maybe in my memory they did that again at some point, but man, what a fucking show to see if you got to see one of those. Wu-Tang,
dude, yes.
Rage Against the Machine, jeez, at the height of their power. That's
dude,
crazy.
Introducing the next generation from Nintendo, New Super Mario World, created especially for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. It's a bit more exciting, a bit more challenging, a bit more graphic, a bit more colorful, a bit more realistic, a bit more levels, a bit more secret, a bit more enemies, a bit more friends, a bit more sound, a bit hotter, a bit cooler, a bit weird, a bit more revolutionary, a bit more Mario, a bit more of what you want. It's 16-bit, and it's yours only if you get new Super Nintendo. Now you're playing with power, superpower.
Now, that following year, in 1998, on June 3rd, South Park is airing the episode Conjoined Fetus Lady. The people of South Park attempt to raise awareness of the school nurse's disability. Meanwhile, the boys travel to China to compete in the dodgeball championship.
And this is so crazy, dude. This episode is so fucking crazy, but this is one of the South Parks that I love. Specifically, because the thing I love most about South Park is Trey Parker singing. And when they do a song or a ridiculous song of some kind, and you get that in this. So, great episode.
Yeah, whenever they have those songs that just like they run on and sometimes they don't even fit the bar, it's like, fuck it. Like, it's funny at the same time.
It's so fucking, it's always just perfectly timed. In this case, we'll get to it, but as we start off here, we're in their phys ed class at South Park, and they're splitting off the boys and girls in the class into teams for dodgeball, which, gotta say, Steve, I loved dodgeball when I was a kid. I was a fat kid, but I was a fat kid that was good at dodgeball, so I always loved staying phys ed. And you did too? Were you afraid of it? Were you good at it?
No, any of those games, man, where there was a team sport involved in phys ed, man, I shined, man.
I don't know. There was always the joke that fat kids sucked at dodgeball, and that was just not the case for Matt Geddick. If I could have been on a dodgeball, like a professional dodgeball team, I probably could have at that age. There was just, I had the right amount of fat tits and gut that I could just suck all the balls in. And that, like, no homo on that, but
oh my, I was just about to say, yeah,
I was on that, but you know, I gotta say, I wouldn't have been scared, but Pip's coming into South Park. He's never played dodgeball. He's English.
Excuse me a moment, gentlemen. I don't believe I know how to play dodgeball. What?
or French or something, whatever.
He's European, some soft European.
I forgot about Pip too. This show's been going on so long. It's like Simpsons. You forget about some of these characters that were like bigger back in the day.
Yeah.
And Pip's a fucking funny one. Tally-ho. Hey, what is this dodgeball thing?
I think other characters start evolving and gain more popularity.
Like, is he even in the show now? Like, I haven't watched South Park that much recently, and I don't remember seeing him. Is he in it? Okay.
He's still in there. He's just a background character, man, from time to time. And Kyle's talking shit to Pip, and Pip throws the ball in Kyle's face, breaking his nose.
Damn, Pip, I didn't know you had it in you. Oh, I'm dreadfully sorry.
He has this undiscovered strength, and it's a pretty nice whiff of the dodgeball, man. And now Kyle has to go to the nurse's office, and I notice that it's reluctantly because he really doesn't want to go. And we find out through the rumor mill, one of the kids said he heard the nurse is hideously deformed, and BB heard she has tentacles and eats children for lunch.
I mean, I honestly, Steve, I would be a little bit scared myself as a child. If my friends were telling me that, I'd be scared. But then when Kyle shows up, it's a little bit awkward, let's say. Because Mrs. What's her name?
Gollum.
Nurse Gollum. Also a scary name. You don't want to hear Gollum's not a great name. That's already got some weirdness to it. But he shows up, and she's nice. She's a nice lady. She's got a nice voice, but she's got a dead baby hanging off the side of her head, Steve. It's not cool. And I don't know how I'd handle it. You'd walk around the corner and just be like, nurse, where? I love how he also has hair. It's got a little hair. What the fuck, dude?
He's got more hair than me. Fucking dead fetus.
Kyle, what's wrong?
She has a stillborn fetus growth attached to her head. Now, Kyle gets back to the boys, and Cartman asks, "Can your fetus talk?" And he's like, "It's a dead fetus, bro." And then Stan asks if the fetus was wearing clothes, and Kyle asks, "Where can you find dead fetus clothes?" Amazon, Kyle. Check Amazon. Yeah. They have everything. Now
dead fetus clothes too. They got some cast offs. Also, how wild it would be if it was like Total Recall with that dude, where he pulls his shirt up and it's just that little weird head, like. What if it talks, Steve?
Open your mind.
Would you be able to okay, Nurse Gollum shows up and you're facing the side of her head that is just normal. And you're like, damn, Nurse Gollum, I'm feeling good. I had a couple of pineapple and Patrons. I'm feeling fucking frisky right now. And you just never really she never turned. And then you get home and you're like, oh shit. Could you overlook that head, Steve?
No, Matt. No, I couldn't.
You couldn't put a goddamn beret over it or like a paper bag and just at some point it's just like a handle, Steve. It's like a handle that looks like a dead baby. And I'm sorry, but at some point, she's had sex. So somebody had to get over it. And don't look at me like that. Don't. This is like when I said period blood smelled, okay? I don't want to see this when I'm talking to you. I don't want to feel judged.
Matt, you're asking me if I would have sex with a woman that has a dead body attached to her head. Steve, well, how do you expect me to?
This is what happens when we record early in the morning, okay?
Man, it's something about that dead body on the side of her head, man. Get me hard. Get me real hard.
This is why I set it up this way. You've gotten to know the woman. You're a little tipsy. You like the attitude. You like the overall look of her body. But when she turns her head, you see this dead baby. You've already committed to fucking, but then right at the last second, you see this. No? Oh, wow. I mean, you're come on, Steve. You just gotta put a beret on it and just ignore it, okay? Just use it as a handle. This is going off the rails right now.
Wow.
Okay, well, we got canceled after this episode, guys. Sorry. Sidetrack Sally back into this episode.
And now Miss Bravlowski, she overhears the kids talking about their freak of a nurse, and she wants to impart some newfound wisdom about conjoined twin dyslexia. She's been reading this book titled Freaks, A to Z. And one of the things I noticed, which was hilarious, as she's explaining to them what Siamese twins are, there's a picture in the book of Mickey Dolenz and Michael Nesmith of the band The Monkees with their heads melded together. And that's so random. I appreciate random humor. They just picked some like Mickey Dolenz and Michael Nesmith just cause. And she says that you could even have a dead fetus inside you. And Stan and Cartman are both freaked the fuck out and they run out of the house. So Stan's mom calls the Broflovskis and wants to know why her son Stan is running around the house with an ice pick trying to split his head open. Ms. Broflovski tells her that she was educating him on conjoined twin dyslexia. Mrs. Marsh tells her to fuck off. Now the kids.
Yeah, are you kidding me? That would terrify me as a kid. You tell me there's going to be a dead baby inside me somehow, I would try to do the same shit.
You know, the kids are still going to the state finals in dodgeball. Mrs. B, who are they playing? They're playing the Denver Cougars. And while they're doing that, Mrs. B visits the school and she wants Nurse Gollum's condition to be recognized and put on display for all to see. So that was a quick scene. Now they cut back to the state finals at Denver Elementary, and Coach Bob Thomas of the Denver Cougars looks a lot like Barry Switzer. I don't know if you caught that.
He does look very Switzerish. I didn't take that note, but now that you mention it, he does.
So Sheila Broflovski has Nurse Gollum, Principal Victoria, and Mr. Mackey over for dinner, and they're trying to not make this awkward, but it's kind of hard when you're eating it and someone's at the table has a dead body dangling on the side of their head. Don't you hate when that happens? Mm-hmm. And they're like, so what school did you go to? Colorado State. Hey, Sheila, can you pass the dead fetus? I mean...
Oh, I don't know. I think our boys might just have the dead fetus to win. Heart!
Yeah.
Fetus. I mean, can you pass the fetus? God damn it. He just can't stop saying dead fetus. And I wouldn't be able to either. I'd be like, you know what? I got to go puke. Sorry. Bye.
Now, the Denver Cougars, they look pretty tough because one kid hits Token with the ball so hard, Token falls and cracks his head on the floor, spilling all kinds of blood. They try to get Cartman out, but he catches the ball with his stomach. Pip knocks out two kids with one throw, and they end up winning the state finals.
And, you know, it's that inner nerd rage that powers Pip's dodgeball ability. And I get that. I've been there. So it's like you gotta Hulk out and you gotta bring the monster out for Pip to really shine. And I feel like maybe the movie Dodgeball stole this because there was basically a character in that movie that did the exact same thing. So I just want to call that out to the writers of Dodgeball. Shots fired. You may have stolen that from South Park. But back to this. They beat this team full of ringers. They Bad News Bears this dodgeball tournament and actually make it to, I believe this is, they're going to nationals or they're going to internationals at this point.
Well, they beat the state, they win the state finals, and then they go to the national, but the Washington team forfeited, making the South Park Cows the national champions. The Washington team was so afraid to face Team China because the previous year's national champ was missing some kids on the return home. Apparently, dodgeball is a whole lifestyle in China. They groom these kids to be studs at an early age. They're tossing kettlebells around that weigh a ton. They give them steroids and advanced training equipment to make them not kids, but animals. And the boys are scared shitless.
I mean, they're going against Drago, a team full of Asian Dragos in dodgeball.
Basically.
You know, these kids are going to snap your neck with a dodgeball. I'd be scared. And back in South Park, everyone but Nurse Gollum wants to bring awareness to conjoined twins. I can't even fucking say this shit. Dyslexia. Everybody wants to bring awareness to this dead baby disease, except Nurse Gollum. And I feel like, and again, this isn't evidence of South Park sort of seeing something in society way before, like even now this is valid, you know? I feel like this kind of like fake awareness and fake wokeness that they're doing in this town. So that shows you the genius of South Park and Trey Parker and Matt Stone. But Now in South Park, everyone wants to they want to bring awareness. They want to have a week of awareness. They want to have a parade of conjoined twins, my Lexia, but there's only one person in the parade, Steve, and it's Nurse Gollum, and it's weird. Seems a little bit weird.
And you got the song, man?
I want a dead fetus. Dead fetus, no, I'll never let go. I got a dead baby on the side of my head. So good. So, I mean, South Park has gotten a song scored. They have a PowerPoint presentation. They got a fucking parade. They got a speech. They got a goddamn carnival for dead baby fetuses. I mean, they're doing it all, but
they honor her with a Lifetime Conjoined Twin Award, and the award is a mold of a head with a fetus attached to it. She's already over it. She's been over it. And we cut back to the boys, and they're driving a bus to China. Remember that time we rode a bus to China, Matt? And one of the funniest parts, man, is these commentators, these Chinese commentators who are talking about these Americans with their big American eyes. I suppose they don't have a problem seeing the ball with their big American eyes.
Oh my, I haven't seen an American die like that since Abraham Lincoln. Dude, that is not cool. You're gonna get us into trouble again.
And they do their American impressions. Hey, could you pass the salt, please?
I'll use my credit card.
Killing it. Also, another funny thing I liked about this episode is on the way to the to face the Chinese, Chef and the bus driver. What's her name?
Miss Crabtree.
Miss Crabtree. They're not getting along very well.
Shut the fuck up!
I need to know how far it is, lady.
I said sit down!
Yeah, whatever, you old dried up fat hog.
What did you say?
I said I've always wanted to visit Prague.
Oh, me too.
So the Chinese team is just kicking ass, man. They're laying people out. They killed Kenny with this damn dodgeball, and it's down to Pip. It's Pimp against Team China, and one of the kids calls him French and says he has crepes in his ears, and Pip snaps and wipes out the whole China team with one fucking throw, and the South Park Cows are the world champions of dodgeball.
I mean, he might have killed a couple of those kids too. I mean, he wailed these bastards. So Pip still not getting a lot of respect from the South Park Cows, but he won the tournament. And then we cut back to the old conjoined dead baby parade / party that's going on in South Park. And basically now there's a stage set up. There's a group of people that everyone's waiting for the speech. And another great thing about this awareness week, you get a free hat, Steve, whenever you show up.
Yeah.
It's not really a hat. It's a fake dead baby to put on the side of your head. So
I wish I had one of those.
I mean, I hope they've released some of those, like somehow. There was some sort of swag you could buy that in some way.
Yeah.
If not, we're going to make that and make millions somehow. So
yeah, Trey Parker and Matt Stone. Y'all can't fight us. We could take them, right?
I don't know, Steve. I'm weak, bro, but I'll give it a shot. I'll go for the nuts. I'll Johnny Cage him. I'll get him.
Now, Nurse Gollum has had enough, and she says the last thing she wants to be is singled out. She just wants to do her job and live her life like any normal person. But instead, they had everyone focus on her handicap all week long, which does the complete opposite of whatever they intended. She doesn't want to be treated different or special. And at this point, she would rather be ridiculed, shouted at, and made fun of. And take those damn fetus caps off your heads.
Oh my, what an ungrateful bitch. Yeah, the nerve of some people.
And then Kyle and Stan are like, man, you know what? Nurse Gollum's actually pretty cool. And then Carter says, I love you guys. And then no one says anything. Screw you guys.
And then fade out to dead fetus. No, I never let go. Get that dead fucking baby off the side of your head.
Now, any takeaways, call to action, honorable mentions, young Matthew?
I have a real big call to action, Steve. It's been wearing on me for a while now while we've been doing this show, and it's directed at Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus, you offer a bunch of programs. I invested in your product, and Steve and I were going to watch Salute Your Shorts. And I assumed that because you said you had it, and I even checked that you had it, that you had all the episodes. But you don't have all the episodes. You only have some, which doesn't make a lot of fucking sense. And then on top of it, you have the audacity to have an app that works so fucking shittily that either I can't watch any of the shows, or that when I watch one episode of a show, afterwards, instead of going to the next episode, it stalls and I have to restart the program and like restart it. So wow. Paramount Plus.
Eat a dick. Eat a fucking dick like this.
Get your fucking shit together. Get some of that money and fix the app.
Get him.
Because I'm a concerned citizen. Steve and I have been trying to do a professional show here, and you're cutting us off at the fucking kneecaps. So
eat a dick.
You know, fuck you. I'd like some of my money back and get all of the Salute Your Shorts episodes on there so me and Steve can go on and share our love of that show as well, because you're really fucking the show up at this point. So
for real, man. Fucking up the church money. And the people want some Salute Your Shorts. I know they do. They chomping at the bits, man. We want some UGG, some Budnick, you know.
The thing came apart. The thing came apart, Steve. That's maybe one of my other great impersonations. Donkey Lips.
Donkey Lips. Yeah, I like that one. Paramount.
That's my call to action, Steve. I could go into more stuff, but right now it's just wearing on my mind. I feel
it pissed me off too.
So
it pissed me off because I was looking forward to doing Salute Your Shorts. It was one of my favorite Nickelodeon shows, man, that kicked off the summer for us kids at the time. And it's a young Danny Cooksey, man. He's kind of I wouldn't say pop culture icon, but he's a child actor that was in some relevant things. He was in Different Strokes. He's one of the surviving members of Different Strokes. He was in Terminator 2, and of course, Salute Your Shorts. Paramount, you make me want to fart.
Yeah. Suck a dick, Paramount. Suck a fat dick.
That is good, dude. Man, you know, my honorable mention, I just want to give more props to Kia Crystal Kima. Fine. She was the mom in That's So Raven. She was in the Cosby, not the Cosby Show, but the CBS version. And she was obviously in Living Color, man. And she's just always been cute to me. And I looked at her current pictures and she just ages so fucking gracefully, man. Everything is getting fulled out. She's got the dreads with the gray in there, and it's just so grown woman sexy.
Steve, I hate to use an old trope, but I think you would agree, and I think everybody, if you have eyes, agrees, black don't crack. And that just is, we see it over and over again. Unless you're like 100 years old or you do mad drugs, it just is what it is. And
or if you Dennis Rodman, he looked like his melanin stopped working.
I mean, that was drugs, Steve. That was drugs and insanity.
Yeah.
But I mean, speaking like from somebody like me who ages like banana in the sun, it's not the same thing. So I respect it. I don't know what she looks like as an older woman, but I can only imagine that it's straight up 100%.
My God.
So
fucking man, woman, if you're single, holla. Hey, girl, call me.
Well, Steve, this has been fucking great. What can we expect from did we do you did Kima. Do you have any other ones? I interrupted. I almost went on.
Oh, no, that's pretty much it, man. On Over the Culture, we're going to be talking about Tom Morello, commemorating the Tom Morello, man. He is a machine of a guitar player. He's my favorite living guitarist.
He's our Jimi Hendrix, Steve.
He is our generation Jimi Hendrix, man. I saw the man perform with Prophets of Rage at the Forum, at the good old Forum where the Lakers used to win championships, man. Me and Jordan went. The last time I visited Los Angeles, and the man played solos with his dick, Matt. He is a fucking hoss on that machine. he's a pioneer because he made the guitar sound like a DJ on a fucking record, man. He just does these innovative things, man.
Can I share an idea that I just had from you bringing this up?
Yeah.
And then maybe this has been done, maybe it hasn't, but you know, there's these versus things that they do online where like artists go against each other that, you know, like rappers or singers or whatever.
Yeah.
Do it with great guitar players. Have them go riff for riff against each other and let us watch that.
With Slash. I like that.
Anybody, Zach Wilde, whoever, the guy from Killswitch Engage that was like, no, you know, anybody that can get up there. But I guarantee you, Tom Morello is he's going to nail it. He's going to kill them all. He's going to destroy everybody in his path.
He's going to have some groove, but he's going to have some wow.
Les Borland's going to come out and just try to dethrone him with his weirdness, but no, he's going to overcome. But I think that's a good idea. And somebody,
I like it.
Internet, get the fuck on that, please. Steal this idea. I want to.
What's going on with Crushgasm this week?
Well, I was talking about it to you earlier. Kendra had on somebody, Mahogany Jones. She's a spoken word artist. She's also a rapper. She was in 106 & Park's Freestyle Friday. She was undefeated in that. I don't know exactly how many. Super cool episode that's already out. The next one that's coming out that will be out right before this episode drops is a fitness expert and cosplay guy named Todd Way. Super cool guy, and he talks about a crush that was in anime. A lot of people having crushes on fictional characters, which is not in my bag. I like real women, but very cool episode. And she's continuing, and I know I'm giving flowers to my wife, which I you know, sorry for this, internet, but she's getting really fucking good guests.
Yeah.
That's something that you and I are really striving to do. We have a very interesting possibility. I'm going to tease that to everybody that watches this show. Maybe a weird interview coming up that everybody's going to like. But as far as Crushgasm goes, every Wednesday, new episodes drop. Just keep checking it out because she's killing it. So,
most definitely, man. I call her Kick-Ass Kendra.
I'm telling you, dude. You want something done, it's gonna get done. Now, how do you think I fucking got to where I'm at? You knew me. I wasn't about shit back in the day. I've elevated. It's because I got a good woman. So I got to give her some credit.
Behind every great man. That's what they say, man. Now, please like, share, and subscribe, and comment, man. What's your favorite hip hop album of all time? How much do you like Takia Crystal Kima, or were you more of a Kim Coles person? And if Wu-Tang Clan Forever isn't your favorite album, please tell us where you went wrong in life. This is Steve G and Matt G with Happen in the 90s.
Dead fetus, no, I'll never let go.